Give y'all a minute to get back in here. While I'm waiting on some people to come in, while I'm waiting on some people. Devil mean adversary, enemy, opponent. That's who playing the game on the opposite side from you, right? So, if in the game of the gods, the humans see good and bad. The guys see balance and imbalance. It's a difference. Everything that look bad, not bad, and everything look good, not good. They use legislations to deceive us into thinking certain shit more moral than other shit, right? This is why there is no clear-cut age of consent in sex across the land. State by state, they got a different age where you can be prosecuted for rape. Why is that? It's in order to confuse the natives because different tribes have different customs and traditions that if they adhere to has been made illegal in certain parts of the land. In other parts of the culture, in other parts of the culture, they fit right in and it's not belligerent, it's not a conflict. So it make one tribe look at the other tribe as wicked, and then we all fucked up again. We all because we following the legislated moral compass rather than following our traditions and customs from the land that predate any of these motherfuckers, right? So I tried to take one. She didn't come in. Uh, now, L had a couple questions for me. Let me see if they let him in. Now, I don't know if Instagram letting me have viewers or not on
Hey,
there.
Rod.
What's going on, L? I can hear you, but I can't see you, buddy.
Oh shit, what's going on? Hold up.
That's Instagram. They was doing now. It's gonna come out on the replay. We'll both be able to be seen, but just letting you know,
I
as of
see
right
me,
now,
man. I see me.
do you see both of us?
I don't see you though.
See the people in
They
the
can't see it.
audience. Can y'all see both of us in the chat? Right. If y'all
Nice haircut,
if y'all
Rod.
see both of
Okay.
us, if y'all see both of us, throw me some feathers up.
Say I can't see y'all. We can see both. See you both. Okay, they can see us both. Shit, what the fuck is going on?
Yeah, I told you. When it play back on the replay, they'd be able to see us split screen.
Hey, Rod, this is what I got to ask you though, Rod, because I had just called you, because I was thinking about the Jason Bourne shit, and I called you and you broke some extra shit down in that thing, man. And we was talking about how Jason Bourne, you said, because they found out there was Italians that helped him, but you said they didn't know who he was. They didn't know who he was, and they gave him money to get on the land. But
Right.
then, because I made the connections with you said about he was trying to he went to the UN. They as soon as he went there, they tried to label him as a criminal, and then he ended up running to the girl, giving her the Geechee girl. So what? From that part, we'll keep on going. But from that part about the Geechees, what is the connection? Is it a connection with the Geechees and our identity?
Yeah. You see the word Geechee?
Yeah.
That's a term that comes straight out of the tribes in the voodoo culture.
Okay.
You got Getty, you got Gullah, you got Getty
Okay.
Gullah.
Okay.
All of these are Geechees, right? We think that the Geechee is a hybrid Italian and African over here. That's not the case.
Okay.
The Gullahs is the Gullah Geechee Big Mama from South Carolina on the island heard the reports of the settlers that came and called us all to war. She knew what was going to happen. She knew if she didn't call us all, we was going to end up losing bad. So we all went to fight the Gullah Wars. We were sent home. We was all sent
Go ahead.
home. This is how we end up on the Trail of Tears. The Trail of Tears wasn't them marching no motherfuckers to no reservation. We was on our way to Arkansas, Georgia, Alabama, Mississippi, Louisiana, and some of us was going north. But we
Yeah.
had came from all quarters of the land as far south as New Zealand,
Go ahead.
as far north as Alaska, and the people that used to live in the far, far north, where it's mostly ice in the north,
Yeah.
they all came to fight the Gullah Wars, right? So when all of the men is gone, this is how the Califia queens got caught with no men at the castle.
Mm.
They tell you that the first person to go around South America was looking for an alternate trade route. But when you read his journals, he's talking about war that he fought with great women warriors, and they saying they was in the South Pacific. They was motherfucking in off the coast of California fighting these women because all of the men went east to go fight in the Gullah Wars.
Which is
So
what
now
Wonder
we
Woman
get
is all
the
about.
word right. So now we get the word that they under attack on the motherfucking West Coast. They didn't went around South America and attacked the women and the children that's in the castle, bombed that motherfucker to smithereens from the Spanish Armada. And when it's a pile of rubble, they built a military base there that they eventually converted into Alcatraz prison. The replica of Califia's castle, because they had to tell us what they tore up over there, is the castle replica of Disney, the big Disney castle that's in front of all of the
Yeah.
Disney movies.
Yeah. Damn.
They have to put that out in the public domain. That's Califia's castle that was bombed into dust on Alcatraz Island. Alcatraz wasn't always a prison. It was Diana's Island, that motherfucker from Wonder Woman.
Yeah.
That was her shit. That was they shit.
Yeah. Yeah.
The women used to do women retreats there. They used to do that goddess glow up shit over there. And now these motherfuckers is bombing it because we beating the Jesus out of them in Florida, in Haiti, in Jamaica. You can't never think that none of them islands laid down. They fought harder than us, and we was whooping them motherfuckers' ass until we got drawn into a motherfucking conjure war. Everything stopped.
So the $20,000 ride to France to do the Gullah, like the Gullah Geechees and all that, does it connect back to some kind of way through that treaty, the peace and friendship? Because Jason Bourne.
Look at that. Okay, look. The Eiffel Tower was set up in Paris, France.
That's right. Go ahead.
That's the city of Isis. Isis had 12 regions or 12 daughters who was a matriarch in the 12 regions of the earth. The 12 regions was broke up into what was called three empires. One was Europe, Asia, and Australia. The other was what we call Ethiopia, East and West, which was Africa today, in India, and the other one was the land of Quetzalcoatl, or the Great Feathered Serpent, the Americas. Okay, now, them was the three gods of the three lands. Europa is Isis, the Ice Princess. They also call her the Dame of the North, right? Which translates as Notre Dame. This is why all this stuff is in our face behind our back.
Damn, bro. These motherfuckers dirty, man. And then look, and Bourne had a bank account encoded into his back. You were saying something on that too. Because we had broke down that Swiss they was like an independent country or something. With the banks and shit.
Right. So you got to remember the last war the Swiss ever fought, they fought against France.
That's right.
And that's when all of the dirty Moors that was in France funneled into Switzerland.
Okay.
Now they declared Switzerland a neutral country.
That's right.
All right. The neutral country doesn't engage in any other wars of the world. Who in the fuck is in Switzerland where they can finance all of the wars from Switzerland, but
Right.
they are never in any other wars?
That's right. Hey, also in the another connection in the Harry Potter movie, the train that they were riding on was called the Jacobites. And I said, God damn it, Rod. When I seen that shit, I said, God damn it. It was called the Jacobites. And I know Bible pointed it out in the book that I got called a Millennial Book, right? You're talking about the Jacobites. But okay, so that Swiss bank account, and then he's trying to get back to his home where he found out his address was in Paris, France. So that's the connection. Then the first place that he found out when he's going back on his identity is in Berlin. Something happened in Berlin, and we were talking about the Berlin Conference. You
Right.
said that somebody got assassinated right around the same time that was going
So
down.
3 years before the Berlin Conference,
Uh-huh.
the Tsar Alexander II was assassinated.
Damn, bro.
He wasn't. You got to go back and look at the Civil War.
Okay.
Russia is the only ones that sent the indigenous people aid when we was being attacked by France. We was
Yeah.
being attacked by Denmark, which is the Dutch and Portuguese.
Uh-huh.
We was being attacked by Spain. Um, we was being attacked by Italians who were the same ones that sold out Hannibal.
Okay.
All
Yes,
these
Mike. Yeah, go ahead.
motherfuckers look like us.
That's the killer, man. That's the killer. All right, yeah. This is my last question, Rock. I know some other people want to get on.
Mm-hmm.
In the when I
I
was
said the
studying the
British.
movie,
Go ahead.
huh? You said the
Go
British?
ahead. Somebody, I was answering somebody in the comments. They said, and the British too. I was like, I ain't leave the British out.
Hey, I don't know if you can see this, Rod, but I was looking at it. I said, okay, all right, somebody they sold some to the Russians. They were trying to sell some secret to the Russians, and they tried to frame Bourne for it. So I looked up some agent that was trying to sell shit to the Russians, right? And we pull up this guy, right? This is this guy that got caught. I don't know if you can see him, Robert Hansen. I think it's how you say his name.
I can't
This guy,
see
this
it.
is a real agent. They got caught in the 1980s trying to sell. And keep in mind, he was an FBI agent, and the FBI agent is the killer clowns, the niggas that don't know about the bounds. And my thing was, what the hell was he finna sell to the Russians? Because they said that he was finna sell some information to the Russians that was a threat to national security. Now I'm thinking to myself, what the hell did the killer clowns, kind of a runaway killer clown, sell to the Russians that would cause threat to national security? And I'm saying, damn, this got to be something about us.
Not
And
necessarily.
go
But
ahead, go ahead.
you got to look at the levels of exposure when you're looking at a person being charged with espionage.
Okay.
Now, the FBI is responsible for internal federal espionage, whereas external espionage is relegated to central intelligence. First thing that we need to understand, FBI is a privately owned corporation and you can never find the stakeholders.
That's right.
CIA is a privately owned corporation that you can never find the stakeholders. The Department of Defense was absorbed by the military industrial complex, and you can't never find the fucking stakeholders. None of these people's names is available. The United States is the umbrella corporation for all of these other corporations under it that have administrative functions in an occupied territory. Before there was a United Nations, all of the police forces was directly under the Crown of England. When the United Nations was established, all of the police now are peacekeeping troops for the United Nations.
Mm-hmm.
Every time they have a war, they send peacekeeping troops in to police the land and to the people supposed to be self-sufficient enough to relieve them of their duties. But it's a trick. It's a trick every time. And you look in the history books, they never leave. Once the motherfuckers come and set up shop, they don't fucking leave. They tell you they out of Afghanistan. Don't you bleed that shit for a minute. They tell you they out of Iraq. Don't you bleed that shit for a minute. Only way they out is if Donald J pulled them out for real. If they tell you that anybody other than Donald J pulled them from over there, they land.
No,
They told us that Biden hastily left all that military equipment, billions of dollars worth of military equipment in Afghanistan and just left. Nope. That's a settlement.
Mm-hmm.
That's a settlement. Because they can't leave them if they don't have the means to defend themselves against invaders. They can't leave them. Which takes us to Palestine. We thinking that Zion is fighting Muslims. That's not what's going on over there. What's going on over there is what they call Afro-Palestinians been there since they're been there. But they got invaders on the land. And they got allies that don't look like us willing to work for them to get the invaders off the land. That's what you're looking at.
Mm-hmm.
Because they got to get everything back to the original owners. And the original owners of Palestine today called Afro-Palestinians. They not called Jews. They ain't never been called Jews. They not Judahites. They ain't never been the children of Judah. All that was some Judas shit, some traitor shit, turncoat shit. It was deception at its finest, and we fell for it.
Oh, yeah. Hey, get this too, Rod. I'm looking at some on here, and it says this dude just died June 5th, 2023, in the same prison as Larry Hoover, Baba, and Jeff Ford.
That don't mean he did.
Right? Go ahead.
That prison is not even functional.
Go ahead.
That prison been closed down almost 2 years now.
Oh, yeah.
So
that's
anything that they're reporting somebody in Colorado Ad Max, it's a storyline. That's it. It's a storyline. Half these motherfuckers don't even know Dr. York ain't in prison no more. Jeff Ford, Larry Hoover, Imam Abu Jamal, ain't El Chapo, all the motherfuckers are continuity of government. But we listening to the narrative, they not even addressing none of that. You remember I say El Chapo ain't know what was going on, so he sat down and talked to Larry Hoover?
Yeah, I'm sorry. Cut you, bro. Hey, Rod.
Yeah.
Oh, go ahead. You got cut, man. Damn. Whatever they say what you about to say, they cut you for about 10, 20 seconds, man.
You remember I was telling you El Chapo didn't know what was going on until he talked to Larry Hoover?
Uh-huh.
And I was saying it would shock me because I didn't know Larry speaks Spanish. Because I didn't. I just thought he spoke like me, just speak one language.
Yeah.
I studied multiple languages, but I only actually speak one. And so when I got the message, I was kind of shook for a minute. I'm like, Larry Hoover sitting there talking to El Chapo in Spanish? Mm-hmm. Baba speaks Spanish. He was sitting right there.
Mm-hmm.
But in the course of the conversation with El Chapo, his wife went to court like a week and a half ago with a 6-point star on her neck. That was a message. They didn't look, they emphasized it in the newspaper article, the fact that she came to court wearing a 6-point star. She ain't never professed to be Jewish, nor did El Chapo. That star has nothing to do with Judaism, Zionism, or any of those other isms. That's an ancient symbol of the tribes that's been around for thousands of years. You could see it in the old weavings that our women used to do from way back. It's a tribal banner. I mean, shit.
Starseed.
I just told you he in Raven Rock, Colorado. But he have made trips to Ghana and Liberia since he been out. But those are all what you call above top secret classified travels. So he's traveling in something. He's probably traveling with Donald J in Air Force One. Because it's tops. It's I'm telling it because I don't give a flying fuck. We done with these motherfuckers. They lost. We won.
That's right.
Right. So I want y'all to know that they running a story narrative in our face to deceive us about the leadership. I want y'all to know that we not buying that shit. I want y'all to know that ain't shit going on in Washington. All that shit made up, scripted. Old footage from years ago that they rehashing, telling you some shit going on, but everything, boy, it's walls around everything. But in the new footage that's coming out of these protests, ain't no walls. I just see my man was just over there a week ago and sent me the video. He said, "Dang, bro, you was right. This shit closed like a motherfucker. Ain't nothing going on over here." Showing me the all of the motherfucking walls and shit they got. Ain't none of that shit in these protest videos. I'm like, what is these people watching? This is some stage show ass shit, CGI or something. Because that shit not going on for real, for real. Anybody in DC watching right now, let me know, because you're going to be the
Hey,
next person I'm going to call in here. Just because if that protest shit they talking about happened in DC really went down, these people seen a whole bunch of travelers coming into town. So if you're in this video watching right now, you in DC, I want to know, did y'all have a whole bunch of motherfucking traffic all of a sudden pop up in the last 3 days? I want to know from somebody that's there, boots on the ground, because the shit that I'm seeing on TV is not matching the shit that I've already seen in live footage.
that's that other shit, man. That's that wag the dog. That what's that lawyer name they gonna bring out right after the words? That black lawyer.
Oh, you talking about Ben Crumbo, dusty ass?
Yeah, Ben Crump. They gonna bring the Ben Crump. They pulling the Ben Crump on us,
Uh,
man.
I don't
Hey,
know where
right,
they
let me
got that.
ask you
I
something,
want
bro.
Cochran back. Fuck Ben Crump. I want Cochran back.
Right? Hey, hey, what city was Larry Hoover? Wasn't it Chicago where Larry Hoover was?
Yes, he from Chicago.
Yeah, this dude right here was born in Chicago too in 1944. This agent right here, he was born in
Larry
Chicago.
wasn't born in Chicago. Larry and Angel Bay was born in Mississippi. They moved to Chicago as little boys.
Okay, yeah, so it's got to be a connection with this dude being sent to the same prison, born in Chicago. He's selling some kind of secret to the Russians. He a killer clown, a rogue killer clown. Yeah, it's got to be
Dude,
something with this, bro. I'm gonna look into this, bro, a little bit more.
I'm
It's got to be
I'm
something with this, bro.
I'm probably have you send me the information, have me look into it because
Yeah, I sent some of it to you already. Yeah, because
it,
this is really funny, man.
it
What the
sounds like
hell
you
was he gonna say
doing.
to the
It
Russians?
sounds like to me you reviewing a bunch of cold flips.
Yeah, it's like, yeah, he's like he should come from Chicago, 1944, born in Chicago. He died supposedly June 5th, 23, in the same prison as Larry Hoover. Now, this
Yep,
dude was a
Big Tookie
rogue
from
FBI
Louisiana.
agent. Uh-huh.
Yeah, look, all
Northwestern.
of us.
He went to
Look,
Northwestern University. Oh shit, that's in Louisiana.
look, Tookie from Louisiana. All these are Mississippian clans, by the way.
Knox College.
Big.
Knox College.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
William Howard Taffy. Yeah, it's some connection with this dude, man. You know what I think this dude was gonna sell him? Whatever he was selling the Russians, they said it was a threat to national security. The same thing they
Look,
said
look, look,
about
look.
Jet Ford.
Look what I'm pinning up here.
I wish I could see your screen, man. Y'all see raw screen? Damn, man. It won't let me see your screen, bro.
Yeah, so look, Carmel Curl said, nope, ain't nothing going on in DC. I know it's some made up shit.
Look at that.
It
Ain't
didn't
that
look,
something?
it didn't even make sense that all because they didn't have time to take all them damn walls down. From the last time I
Mm-hmm.
seen them to now to this protest that don't got no walls. That shit just didn't make no sense.
It's a pre-recorded. I
Or
wag the
CG, it
dog.
could be CGI, it could be studio recordings.
Yeah,
Somebody
you right. I
said
think
they
it's
closed.
CGI, bro.
Yeah, they've been closed the tunnels in DC. They had a whole fucking underground firefight right outside of it was closer to Virginia than DC, closer to the CIA headquarters, Langley. It
Mm-hmm.
was closer to Langley than it was DC. and they went in that motherfucker because they had it's a park up there. They had a door in the. Remember Baba talked about them doors in the middle of nowhere? It was one of them. And they went in that motherfucker and they had a whole fucking firefight. That was fucking damn near 3 years ago. All that shit been. Everything we seeing now is some old shit being played out to hold the narrative and play. This shit is over with.
Somebody said Tyler that they shoot that shit at Tyler Perry Studios, and it could be true because I live right next to Tyler Perry Studios, and I've been seeing a lot of weird shit going on over there. I live right next to it, and I've been hearing a lot of guns. They had like these shootings and everything, but it be coming from over there on Tyler Perry Studios. So they like they could be staged. Man, I don't tell them what's going on over there, bro.
Listen,
I'm telling you, you
I
can't even
did.
see over the fence.
Look, because
Huh?
people be thinking I be just making shit up or I be pulling shit out my ass. I put a whole post up on the studios recording. You got Donald J. Trump. Somebody put a post up. It said, "Why Donald Trump look like he on the set of The Office?" Man, I was dying laughing looking at that shit.
He probably fell out the chair laughing at that shit. Yeah, hey man. Well, I ain't gonna hold them up. I think somebody else today was trying to get in. Hey, Rod,
Yeah,
we
I'm
gonna
about
be
to take.
on.
I'm gonna
Yeah,
let
take
you
another
out, man.
call, Rod.
We gonna do another class soon, Elder.
Yeah,
I don't
yeah,
know what
yeah.
it's
I'll
gonna.
hit you up tomorrow. We gonna see when we gonna do it.
Okay,
All right. What I do?
what I do? My man was like the second person that requested to get on. Let's see. He had
Hey,
a good comment.
peace, guys.
He's got.
So I kind of wanted to follow up on the White House thing. I just actually had a quick question.
Mm-hmm.
So if they sort of like to flip things, is it possible that the White House that we see right now is actually not the real White House?
You absolutely 100% correct because the real White House is called Casablanca and it's in Morocco.
Okay, that's really interesting. Yeah, I kind of had a feeling like it just came to my mind as soon as young elder said that. I was like, okay, that might be true.
Yeah. So if you translate White House into Latin, it comes or Spanish, it comes out Casablanca or Casablanco. It's Blanca because it's Mama house. It's Blanco if it's Papa's house.
Okay. And also, I just had a quick question. I've had a few questions actually that I've been meaning to ask
You
you.
good? Thanks. I'm here.
All right, I kind of wrote them down. Just give me 1 second. All right, so somebody was actually talking about this earlier. I was watching a video that said we might be from the future, right? Um, and it just got me thinking: is this possible that this might be true? That we came from the future, and we came into the past? And how I kind of want to look at this is like, if you look at the future, right? Because it's like you going up, or almost like gas, how things got to speed up. And it's like how we kind of moving right now, the cycle that we're moving into, time is speeding up and we're moving into the future. So I was thinking, right, that when we incarnate into this physical body, matter slows down, which also slows down the vibration and the rhythm, which is almost like slowing down time. So it's possible that when we incarnate into the future, when we incarnated into the past, but because we also are consciousness, it's like we in the future as well. So
When
I
you
just
not
want to see if you can talk about that a little bit.
when you're not in the physical body, you can see past, present, and future at one time. And there's no concept of time unless you're in the 3D reality because the time is part of the construct that separate events so that we can be able to navigate the 3D reality without doing everything at once. When you're not in the physical body, you don't perceive the concept of time. So you're in the future, but you also in the past. But it's the perpetual now, right? So is where the energy is most concentrated that allows us to see any particular focal point in time. Most of the 3D world is what we call a illusion. And that's why Noble Ali said man is truth and falsehood strangely mixed. The falsehood is the meat suit, the corpus, the zombie, the physical vessel. The truth is the light body, the non-ether, the whole light being who incarnates. So in order to make the whole light being accept the artificial matrix, it has to go through a period of maturity. So this is why you have to be born a baby to come into the 3D, and you can go through the portal of life, which is a uterus. You can't get here no other way. Now they making artificial uteruses in laboratories and shit.
Yeah, that's just
But if
going
we
crazy.
follow nature, you have to come through the yoni in order to touch this motherfucking realm. Ain't
Right,
no
the
other way
lodge.
in unless you use some spooky science.
Exactly. You got a touchdown in the black woman's lodge, which makes us Masons.
Hmm. Mama's boys, right? So the whole thing is at the feet of the master. Every child get his first drops of wisdom that falls from the lips of the mother as they sit at the feet of the master. We all thinking these some old men that's just old and wise. No, these are wise women. They called them witches and hunted them down because they knew that they could conjure their way out of the situation and they didn't want that to happen.
Yeah, I feel you. All right, so another question I wanted to ask about, like, what's your thoughts on the solar eclipse? Because I know I've been looking into it, man, and it's like what they be telling us about solar eclipses. It don't make no sense. It don't
Yeah,
make no sense. So I just feel like there's something up about that.
only people who can really explain this solar eclipse we just had is a 5%er. Because when we was looking at it, we was actually seeing a symbol. The seven with the woman and the child. And the crescent moon in the seven, or it's the woman bending over to the child in the sun, the symbol of the 5% nation. That's what we was looking at because Venus reflection was shining right through at the same time that the eclipse began to happen, and it looked like the woman was standing there facing the moon, and
Damn,
the
y'all can't
child was right under her.
That's crazy. Hold
Mm.
Yeah, my camera real bad right now. My bad, my bad. Keep talking.
Yeah, so what we was looking at is all of these things is coming together now. We done
Yeah.
seen the FOI flag and the stars in the last 3 years. We've seen the Nubian star and crescent in the last 3 years. The only one we hadn't seen was the woman and the child in the sun, and that was the 5% symbol that was played out as a stellar event, as above, so below, macrocosm, microcosm. So the only people that can really tell us the truth about the meaning of that solar eclipse is those who has gotten high enough in the nation of gods and earth, and some fruit that's closer to the top know the same information, and they can break that symbol down and tell you what that eclipse was. But it's all just stellar signs because we on a
Mm.
galactic clock and an earth clock,
Yeah,
and they
yeah.
gonna have to.
I was just thinking that. I was like, it's probably like related to the time, almost like when you're reading, let's say the big hand and the little hand. Okay, the big hand says 3, the little hand says 10, so you're reading it as 310. So I feel like based on the timing of the solar eclipse, that's like a certain sign that you're supposed to decode. And I feel like maybe people who have the proper rights or the DNA activation are the ones who can truly be able to read that solar eclipse.
Yeah, So I don't like a lot of people be like, something gonna happen, something gonna happen. I don't get like that. I be like, oh, okay, so this means that there's another redemption is taking place. This is how I see it.
Yeah.
There's another redemption that just happened according to the timing of the stars and the people that I see doing the work on the ground, and I'm matching it up, right? Some of it is old work coming to the surface. Like I was getting them Garvey knocks, those crossroads. Now we talk about that eclipse. Now we talking about Clarence 13 next. And I just posted RZA breaking down the um one of the numbers that he learned in the Nation of the Gods and Earths.
Mm,
I did a video a couple years ago
mm,
about the 36
yeah.
chambers, right? Four chambers of the lungs, four chambers of the heart, four chambers of the brain, right? And each one of them, I gave book references to each points of each one of those things, right? And it came out to a total of 36 book references.
Okay. Okay. Um. So I know you and Young Elder, you guys kind of be talking a little bit about Tahuti. I just wanted to see if you can go in on who Tahuti is. I need like a clear definition, because I've heard so many different things. I've heard that Tahuti is Murdoch. I've heard that Tahuti is Enki's son. I've heard that Tahuti is actually Lucifer. You know, and so I need a definition, man.
um, the Murdoch is the most wrongest one out of all of them. Murdoch is his brother. In this lifetime, it's two Murdochs. One is the son of Enki. One is the son. Enlil named his son Murdoch after Enki's son. So when Enlil moved to take over the God's seat of the earth, he put his son Marduk as the referee. The only problem that he had was that Marduk don't have a problem with Tahuti, Thoth, Ninigazita, the son of Enki. And he was the heir apparent when it was time for the Anunnaki to leave. They was leaving the God's seat to him as a birthright. So Marduk became the referee. He didn't want to be here. His daddy made him come. He pissed off that he here, and he say, "I'm not gonna help nobody. I'm just gonna enforce the rules. Whoever break the rule and need to be dealt with, I'm gonna deal with. But I don't really want to be down here. I don't like this earth shit, right?" The Inky son Marduk was like, "Shit, we want the smoke." And when it became a knowledge game, he became a master teacher.
Okay, so is Tahuti is he gonna be playing a pretty big role?
Yeah, I'm gonna be playing a pretty big role when it's all said and done.
Oh shit. I should have known you was talking about yourself. Yeah, so see, I actually had this I had this little thought, right? As I was looking into the Bible a little bit. Cuz I was thinking that, cuz you was talking about scripts, right? So is it possible that when it talks about Moses, right, leading the Israelites, quote unquote, into the out of Egypt, and if we look at America right now, it's like modern day Egypt. Is it possible that it could have actually been talking about the future? Uh, Moses could be Tahuti or whoever, talking about leading our people out of the land of Egypt,
Okay,
which is America.
so that goes back to knowing the origin of the Bible stories. They all come out of the hieroglyphics, and they were altered and used as a doctrine of war because they know what genetic memory is, but we don't know. So they did the same thing you do to create a vaccine, core out the virus and give us the shell. That's what the Bible is. It's the shell. But if you already knew what the substance was, the shell becomes just a cover for it that you already know what it means. So when you read the words in red in the New Testament and they tell you this is Jesus talking, it's two people talking. These stories is the story of Horus and Isis blended together by Josephus Flavius in a 21-part play, and then the original play was called the Acts of the Apostles. But it ended up, the book of Acts was the introduction. The Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John was 4 excerpts. They also had a book of time, all of the so-called disciples. It was 21 different perspectives in the play. Because remember, at the time that this stuff was going on, they didn't have TV. So they was using plays to tell the story of the so-called Jewish savior. And the 21-part play took excerpts from the hieroglyphic stories of the coming forth by day, and all of the epithets used to describe the Jesus character is epithets that describe, most of them, about 80% of them describes Isis. And then it's about 20% of them that describes her son, Heru, which is the heir apparent to the God seat. So when they telling us the story, our genetic memory recognize enough of it to hold on to it as if it is the unshakable truth. When all the time it's an unshakable military strategy to dumb you down and trap you in a system of dogmatic beliefs that you can't defend yourself in the spirit realm using. But some of our ancestors figured out in the Vadum how to partner certain parts of the script with our ancient cultures in order to use them Psalms and them Proverbs to execute great motherfucking conjure shit. And that fucked them up because they thought they had took enough of it out that it'd be useless to us. And we still figured out from genetic memory, we knew what to pair with the Psalms in order to make it into a conjure that can be workable repeatedly. And then they was fucked. That's when they knew they lost, but they still had to fight.
Mm. Now that was deep. That was deep. So I know I actually messaged you a little bit about this personally. I just wanted you to go over a little bit more because I don't think I was really getting what you were saying. But when you made a video and you were saying how like a lot of the national debt right now is gonna be turned into debit, right?
Mm.
You said it's gonna be flipped. Can you actually go into that a little bit?
So they already paid off the debt that the corporation incurred in our name. That was part of I call it the $1 trillion program, buyback program, but it
Right.
was way more than the $1 trillion spent in
Right.
modern day fiat value. But in
Oh,
real
definitely.
value,
Definitely.
it's still going to be under $1 trillion in real value. But in the inflation value, it was something like $100 trillion.
Damn. Are you saying
But
like
all of that stuff is
are
paid.
you
That's paid
saying
off already
are you
to
saying
close the
just in the
corporation.
US? Are you saying just in the US or like worldwide?
No, this we only concerned with America because that's where we at. But this is a global phenomenon.
So you're saying the
That's what the BRICS,
global debt is 100
right?
trillion. Okay, yeah, I'm definitely not surprised.
The BRICS nations is damming back the dollar bill. They forcing it back over here for us to have to switch currencies. That's why they calling them bricks. That's strategic. That's the brick wall. That's a dam. Currency is the current that you see, which traces the flow of energy, the same as dye in a river, right? So if they build a dam by everybody blocking that currency out, all of that currency and inflation has to concentrate at home. And that's what's the banks collapse is contingent upon the BRICS nations forcing the dollar back home because when the dollar can't move, when it can't circulate, it begins to lose value more rapidly than they can increase inflation. And this is why they damming up the global flow of the American dollar. This is just a strategic move, and it make perfect sense to me.
Can you kind of go into that a little bit? Because that was a little confusing. So how exactly are they using that to dam up the United States currency?
Forcing the currency back home. Nobody's using it but us.
So you're saying to only make it local within the United States?
Right. Once they make us have to take all of that fiat money around the world back over here, ain't nothing we can do with that monopoly money. Now we just got a big ass pile of paper with dead president faces on it. This is gonna force us when when the collapse come and the banks fall because they have to fall, then it's gonna be a whole new system of banking. Everybody gonna pretty much over here, we gonna all be fucking rich. So everybody complaining about the immigrants. I'm sitting here like shit. They all military age immigrants coming across the border. I'm like shit. Who the fuck gonna work? Who gonna get the jobs now? Everybody getting $15,000-$20,000 a week. Who gonna go to fucking work for $18 an hour, $25, $30 an hour? Who gonna go to work? Nigga, I make more than that sleeping on my ass. What the fuck am I going in there for? This is the position we gonna be in. So yeah, the UN, what's ever left of it, because it was closed under Donald J. while he was in office. They closed that motherfucker down. And now they telling us it's open. I don't know. I got to get somebody from New York to see if any flags flying there for real, because they didn't have none there for over a year. So if they reopen the building, I want somebody from New York to go down there and tell me, because I'm not going to believe what the fucking news is telling me, because that shit's scripted than the motherfucker.
Nah, facts though. So
They keep
how long
asking about the Snyder Act. If it requires you to register for something, sign a document, it's a trap. And that's all I can say about it. On the flip side, it's going to wind up working out in our benefit as long as we don't use it as an excuse to resurrect the contract of a dead entity.
Yeah, I'm not too sure what the Snyder Act is, so that must have been from somebody's comment. But
Yeah, that was from a comment. But it's all related to the money.
Oh, okay.
Under the Snyder Act is an updated bill where when we was Negroes, we wasn't getting that. Now they dropped the Negro. The Snyder Act ensured that we get a payout, but the payout is through the system that they were supposed to have been giving us the whole time as stipends and allotment as occupied people. But they was holding the money and they was giving us credit in place of currency. So they'd take $1 million worth of gold and give us $100 million worth of credit. It's called fractional reserve banking. We never see the gold. All we see is the monopoly money that they gave power of purchase by order that doesn't have any true value.
Yeah, so let's actually talk about that, man, because I was really thinking, so why do they have the gold and the silver just kind of stored up? You know, it seems like they can't use it for a specific reason.
We was in a warlock. When you in a warlock, Big Mama sealed all the coffers. Because the first one to run out of means to finance the war gonna lose.
So you don't think possibly that it has to do with the fact that maybe they don't have rights to the since they don't have rights to the land, right? Since you're saying this is our land, I'm thinking because resources are typically tied to the land as well. Oh my god, my license went off. Hold on. So yeah, like resources are typically tied to the land. So I was thinking that they don't since they don't have rights to the land, they don't have rights to the resources. So therefore, their money cannot be backed by gold or silver. Because we have land rights, and they don't.
You kind of right because they not supposed to trade in our wealth in the open market. the mineral wealth from the land, most of it, like we pump more oil or just as much oil over here as they do in the Middle
Yeah.
East. And it's not allowed to be traded on. It's supposed to only be used when the nation is in the time of war. So, so they use it in the military, but they don't use it for the civilians.
Yeah. Because when we look at the whole entire like corporate system and their legal system being dead, I know that I mean this is a little different perspective, but if you kind of just look at their system, right, it's like corporation dead. Everything about them it seems like it's dead, right? It's because
Mm-hmm.
spiritually they're also dead as well. So since like you were saying earlier that they're using they're using us as credit pretty much. They're using our power, just like they use it with everything else when it comes to entertainment, when it comes to our culture and everything like that. They're pretty much using our credit, our power, our soul energy. And so the fact that they have a dead system proves that they don't have their own energy. So yeah, so
They
their
don't got
current
none of their own shit. Everything they got, they stole
exact
it from us.
exactly. And since money is like, is green, right? Like kind of I think Young Elder was talking about this, right? So it's like it symbolizes the life energy, but they've enslaved us with our own energy, by
Mm-hmm.
symbolizing life, right? But so since they don't have their own life energy, their money that they created, their Federal Reserve notes, it can be backed by anything real. That's why it's backed by credit alone.
Right. But remember, we wasn't taken off the gold standard till 1933.
Mm-hmm.
And when they took us off the gold standard, it was illegal for civilians to own gold.
Yep. Yep.
It used to be before that, if you went down to Mississippi, Louisiana, or somewhere down there, and you asked one of them old dudes for money, he'd flip you a gold coin. It probably had his mama or his grandmama face on it, but you put it on the scale and it weigh out to an even gram. It was a gram of gold. He give
Yeah.
you the gold coin and you go on about your business.
Yeah.
That's where they had this cartoon skit uh, where the guy walking around with a cup and he's like, "Can you help a poor American citizen, fellow citizen who's down on his luck?" And they throwing coins in there. We thinking they throwing like quarters or silver dollars. Them gold pieces from from a bygone era before 1933. When
Yeah.
1933 came, we were supposed to have a system in place, but they got the extension because of the war of 1812 we just went over. Once they
Mm-hmm.
got the extension, now they have to figure out how are they going to pay for this shit.
Yeah.
And that's when they came up with fractional reserve banking, and it comes straight from Switzerland.
Okay. Okay. And I also wanted to add on to as well, just thinking myself that um when they usurped our land, um with the whole entire idea that energy is not destroyed, it's just really transferred. So to add on to the whole entire thing that I was saying, right? So when that energy got transferred over to them, they didn't have the rights to be able to claim that energy. And so they had to create like a fake corporate legal
Well,
system.
we had war, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, so during the war, they settled on the land as what they call a UN peacekeeping force. That's how they came in. Then they
Okay.
stretched
Okay.
out across the land and they crossed they was never supposed to cross the Appalachians in the war. All of the tribes west of the Appalachians was never supposed to encounter this war. But they end up using our defeat of the French as the excuse to advance and back doors while we was fighting the Gullah Wars.
Yeah. Can you kind of go on a little bit?
While we fighting these wars, um, they have to figure out. It's a lot of what you call logistics. when you settle a territory. You can't just go in and set up camp because the people gonna oust you.
So you saying
So
there's pretty much like war codes,
yeah,
like war conduct. You can't just go in there, yo, I'm gonna kill everything, everybody, I'm gonna take over the land.
right. That's how they came at
It's
first
kind of
because they
like,
thought that
oh, okay, right, right. It's like you kind of got to play chess with them.
right.
You got to move this piece over here. If you move this piece,
That,
that could.
that's the Conjure
Okay,
War part.
word,
Yeah,
word, word. Now I
that's the
get it.
Conjure War part. Now, when they first came, it was all out warfare, right? From 1492 to 1776, we didn't let up,
Yeah,
right? Because of the Conjure War in 1776, when they wrote the Constitution in the blood of Crispus Attucus, that trapped us into the Conjure War. But they kept breaking all of the rules, so we continued to fight, which gave all the way up until 1812. So when you go back and look at the Seminole Wars, it gives you a better time frame of our struggle than looking at American history, because the American history tell us the victors part of the story that make us proud to be conquered. We into that shit. We love being conquered. No, the fuck we don't.
for
We
real,
just ain't figured out the way out yet.
for real.
Yeah, but there's rules to war, and they follow most of them. But when the Conjure War started, they kept breaking the rules, and we kept fighting. And they kept getting extension after extension up until 1812. Once we realized that, damn, every time we start fighting these motherfuckers with spears and guns and knives and shit, they get an extension. So we don't want them to have no more extension. This is why
Mm,
this is why Garvey took his military and disassembled it. He don't need it. This don't have anything to do with guns and bullets. It's all about how many books can you read in a lifetime,
damn.
basically.
So you saying this whole thing is really gonna be fought with a pen and paper?
Yep. The paper was the paper chain that kept us in slavery. The anchor to the paper chain was the Constitution written in the blood of Crispus Attucus, one of the chiefs of the land. The doctrine that they used to institute that constitutional mandate is in the Bible, where it said the blood of the righteous shall not be spilled in vain. If you scroll my page, I got posts on all this stuff with the receipts. All of this, everything I'm saying, I done already dropped the receipts and posts for the last 4 years. Some of them I didn't recycle receipts and reshared receipts that's old, because a lot of the people that's just now locating me where I'm at is just now finding this information, and they coming in and they seeing something that they haven't done the background to know exactly where I'm coming from with this information. They just know that it resonate for a reason, but they don't know why. Because our history is, read our culture, we recognize it, right? So when I tell people certain stuff, I still got the receipt, even if I don't show it right now. I didn't show the receipt already. And sometimes I have to go back because I get a knock on the Wind Talking channel, and they'll tell me to share certain information. Like the Garvey thing, I got a whole post from dated from the time of the hurricane when I first seen it, where I was translating the data to find out if it's really what I thought I seen. And it was exactly what I thought I saw.
Yeah. So actually, I didn't hear this part earlier when you was talking about it. But what did you say? What did you say he meant when he said you're gonna find me in the eye of the hurricane, or like you're gonna find me in the
Yeah,
winds?
look for me in the whirlwind. Hey, we got
Yeah.
20 seconds. This one gonna end, and I'm gonna
Yeah.
come in and I'm gonna take some more callers.
All right, man. I appreciate you for having me, bro.
Okay, ain't a problem. It's good for you to call in. We need more of the young guys to get their game